Pant has already started to raise in our minds. Can I say, first of all, that I'm delighted to be invited to the conference to represent higher education, but also I have had considerable experience in teacher training and in school inspection and governance, and I know that that will be a particular theme of today, so I look forward to sharing ideas with you on those topics. What a wealth of experience we have represented here in the audience, all of the different contexts in which you work, the different skills and experience that you bring to the day. And as Professor Pant said, we want to create a kind of vibrant learning community where we can learn from each other over the next 2 days, and I'm sure I will learn a great deal from you all. The theme of the conference is New Perspectives in Learning. Professor Pant has stressed that learning is what we're going to be thinking about today, and certainly the institution that I represent is very interested in these new opportunities, new perspectives. In fact, the reason that we're here is because we're in a partnership project with Planet EDU, where we're going to be developing some new open and distance learning, blended learning approaches to MBA and bachelor degrees, and then who knows where it will go from there. EDUC has a very clear strategy, internationalization strategy. We work with a small number of high-quality partners, and we certainly believe that Planet EDU is one of those. And we want to move into partnership working for very relevant programs that are career-orientated, linked to business, industry and the professions, and equip students, learners to be global players. So that's why we're here. We're here because of a partnership, because of a new development, because of a new perspective in many ways. The focus of all of our thinking, and one of the major themes in the conference, is quality, and quality and standards must be at the centre of our thinking, and I think all of us in our various roles value the importance of quality and standards. This has been a particular interest of mine, and I suppose in the audience that I'm in, I shouldn't really admit that I've been a school inspector, because perhaps I'll alienate some of you already. But even in the UK, I think we're looking for ways of using school improvement initiatives and drivers to drive up standards of learning and teaching. Similarly, we have a peer review system in higher education. Mention was made of our quality assurance agency, and that is a peer review approach to reviewing the quality and standards in higher education, and perhaps we'll have an opportunity to talk about some of the developments there. As Professor Pant said, how do we know that a degree or a master's from one institution is equivalent to that provided by another? What is the role of a higher education qualifications framework or a national qualifications framework? So I think all of those issues will be considered in the programme. We also have a higher education academy in the UK that is looking at a set of, if you like, professional standards for teachers in higher education. That is a very new development, and similar to the programme that Professor Pant was talking about, we run PGCs in teaching and learning, both in the UK, in most institutions now, and for our overseas partners, and certainly the one that Professor Pant was talking about sounds really interesting. We all have challenges in our roles, whatever our roles are. Certainly for school teachers in the UK, the challenges that are about meeting particular targets, setting individual targets for pupils, setting school targets for performance, having governing bodies monitoring the meeting of those targets and standards. Those are all challenging environments for teachers. And similarly in higher education, we set ourselves a range of targets about participation, what kinds of students participate, who stays, who drops out, what kinds of classifications of degrees people get at the end of the day. So target setting, I think, is quite important in the whole environment. Certainly, we are expected to contribute to our institutions in management roles at a range of levels, to meet the expectations of government policy in a range of ways. Very important in the UK at the moment is the concept of meeting the needs of learners, listening to the voice of learners themselves, talking to them about their learning and learning from them. So we have developed in higher education satisfaction surveys at a national level, which students are given objectively, and we receive that feedback back on the learning within our own institution and look at the opportunities for enhancement and improvement from that. So the learner voice, I think, is key at all of the levels in which we're working. It's important that we do engage in lifelong learning. The next 2 days, I think, is all about that. It's about developing ourselves, it's about being reflective practitioners, about sharing our experiences, knowledge, best practice, being at the forefront of new technologies and how they can be used in education. So, all in all, I'm really looking forward to participating in this conference and learning from you all. As I've said, you have a wealth of experience, which is in a different context to the one that I've operated, so I'm very, very interested in learning from you all. Welcome to the conference, and let's create a learning community where we all learn from one another. Thank you very much. Enjoy.